that's like racist against social media. And we are live. Y'all, it's 6:15 a.m. here on the West Coast, Northern California, Stockton, California to be exact, baby. My name is Cherry Franklin. This is the Cherry Franklin Show. Y'all, welcome to 2022. We are 2 weeks behind, y'all. This is our first live stream on Facebook and YouTube of the year. So I want to congratulate all of y'all for staying a part of this podcast and making it thus far to where we have filed taxes on it as of last year. And this is a business affiliated with my social security number as sole proprietorship. For every year of taxes and income tax until the day that I die, we will have record of this, okay? So thank y'all so much for being here and making us what we are today. If you don't know, a couple quick fun facts about the Cherry Franklin Show. What we talk about on here all the time is the stimulus check, government funding. This show became a real show because of the quarantine. We used to just go on here and go live when I take a smoke break. And now it's a real podcast, talk show. So we talk about the stimulus check. Speaking of smoke breaks, we talk about weed, different strands of weed, flavors, textures, where they come from, what marijuana taxes are doing for Americans, and also why the federal government should release nonviolent marijuana offenders who are currently incarcerated, since they are now legally selling marijuana within this country. Also, we talk about civil rights. We talk about the protests. We talk about the Black Lives Matter movements, key areas of focus within this country, stemming from George Floyd, but also including and revolving around Breonna Taylor, Latina American Vanessa Guillen and Adam Toledo, minor 13-year-old Adam Toledo, 16-year-old Ma'Khia Bryant, Robert Fuller, Jacob Blake, Elijah McClain, those who have autism or who have some type of handicap or disease that makes them incoherent or inaudible to obey police orders have gotten killed. Even to the little teenage boy in Georgia who was found rolled up in a carpet in a high school gymnasium closet. Obviously, some other little boys did that to him. If they were Black, I'm sure we would know who they were. But that little boy's death was deemed a suicide. So I wonder how high up in the government those little white boys that killed that little Black boy in the gymnasium and hit him in the gymnasium, I wonder how high up in the government or in the police rankings those little white boys' parents are, so that those little white boys' names never made it to the news. Even a mass shooter, a public shooter, name makes it to the news and an arrest is made publicly. But the little Black boy who was deemed a suicide couldn't have possibly rolled himself up in a carpet and locked himself inside of a closet to commit suicide. Again, we talk about the protests, we talk about the government, and we say, and we also talk about weed, and we talk about music, and we say all of these things because it's very important that you know whoever can vote can tip the laws in our favor if you are able to vote. Those of you who are not able to vote, you can sign these petitions at change.org, which will be, your voice will be represented as a member of the community and not as a voter. Change.org, y'all, and vote.org. Community programs, city licenses, business licensing, types of businesses that can legally be legalized and provided for city licensing for. um, homeless shelters, public transportation, educational funding, uh, YMCA, Boys and Girls Club, even the free healthcare clinics, Planned Parenthoods. Okay. Um, all of these things, rent control, politicians running for office, and propositions being written into bills and laws to be voted on. All of that you can start at vote.org in your city and in your state. Um, so that's what this podcast is about. Promoting local businesses, fighting for rights, promoting music, um, and civil rights, as well as we do take callers and we talk about my personal problems and opinions or uh, perspectives, as well as yours. Some of our viewers have been watching now for 2 years, since 2019. Some more than that. And somebody said there's a truck driver dude out there. It said Brad did do 100 to 10. I feel he should be on probation. I also want to remind you too of the Ahmaud Arbery case and the Breonna Taylor case, which is still open right now. I want to remind y'all that we can still vote and sign petitions for them as well. Really quick, just because we was talking about other cases. But aside from also taking live callers and talking about my personal experiences and perspectives, we also talk about y'all's perspectives, not only on my situations, not only on the government and the other topics that we talk about here, but things that are going on in your personal life as well. I'm not a professional. I'm not a therapist. I'm not any of that. I'm just a taxpayer who has to live on this earth, same earth that y'all do. So I have my well-being and your well-being and everybody's well-being at heart. Um, what else, honey? A couple other things I'm not. And what else is this show about, y'all? Freestyle rapping, smoke sessions, promoting local businesses. We also interview artists. We also interview business owners. We ask them questions about their businesses, and things that their goals and things like that, and also brag on their products. And thank y'all, I appreciate it. And we make money. We tip and we tip other broadcasters and we support each other here on this podcast. So, y'all, welcome to the Cherry Franklin Show. If this is your first time, the 2022 version. I see that Live Me camera has just died, but fuck Live Me right now. Anyways, because we can't smoke on there. And bitch, I've been waiting to smoke. Guys, we have several things to discuss here. Including the stimulus package. Now, when we first started this podcast with Facebook and YouTube, just before we went live with them, we were discussing the stimulus package. We heard rumors of $1,400 in stimulus payments, $1,100 in Golden Gate stimulus payments, $2,000 stimulus check petition on change.org, and $600 and $500, which essentially per state in our state in California would be the Golden Gate 2 stimulus check. $500 if you made less than $35,000 in the year 2019 to 2020, and an additional $600 if you claim dependents for that year. Direct deposits, they say, have already been sent out for the Golden Gate stimulus too. However, somebody like myself, I received a paper check for my first Golden Gate stimulus, and I received it in my P.O. box for my record label. I haven't had a P.O. box now in like 2 or 3 months. I haven't been able to receive mail. So whatever address my job has, the IRS has, or the government has, whether it was my previous residence or my business address, it's fucking wrong. So if they're sending me fucking money in the mail, I'm not gonna fucking get it. So somebody said, why you think they cut off the Golden Gate? Simple, because Joe Biden is making infrastructure and Build Back Better Act bills to fund healthcare, fund vaccines, and fund cities and state governments. Like the budget that they make every year, they spend on foreign policy, they spend on science, on military, on space, on healthcare. They spend on government payroll. And that's majorly where their money goes to. And where do they get their money? Does anybody know where the government gets their money? Do anybody know where the government get their money from? Good morning, y'all. Welcome. Y'all, really quickly, y'all, we over 60 viewers already for the stream. We've been live less than 10 minutes. Thank y'all. Trump was fucking with us because he do what we do. Somebody said Donald Trump act like a regular lower working class American. And Donald Trump was just bullshitting. Oh no, Donald Trump was fucking with us. He was bullshitting in the White House and trying to get us some money and trying to look out for us because he do the same shit we do. That's what they say. I'll answer the question for y'all. The government gets our money the government gets their money, which is our money, out of our paychecks. And out of when we pay sales tax, when we make purchases at the store. What that means is we pay the government. Us being able to work. Y'all, Tupac producer was just in here, and I want to let y'all know I just seen him on YouTube. That's my brother, DJ King Assassin, OG Tupac producer, as well as independent Latin American rap artist and producer and owner at 98.2 The Beat LA radio station. This guy has put in work on so many very important West Coast artists' music and careers. And apparently he also wants to know where his stimulus check is. I see somebody on tag saying Mr. Fab for president. I'm really glad that all of y'all are from the West Coast. You have made it to the right podcast. Welcome. Okay. I fuck with Nipsey. I fuck with Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? I fuck with the Bay. I fuck with LA. I fuck with Sat. But I'm from Murder Valley, and we fuck with the 209 real tough around here, baby. Same as Tupac, somebody said. See? Exactly. So, y'all, that's my brother. Y'all make sure you go follow and subscribe. 98.2 The Beat LA and DJ King Assassin on YouTube. Y'all add him to your playlist. Make sure he gets those stream counts, especially if you got Mexican friends that speak Spanish and want some Mexican rappers to support. You know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like lowrider rap. You know what I'm saying? West Coast California rap. Y'all make sure you put them on DJ King Assassin music. Again, that's my brother. That's one of my close friends on this earth. Like you said about Donald Trump, we do what we do. We do the same shit. Like we make music, we travel, we network, we big up celebrities. You know what I'm saying, and help grow and expand their brands. and make it able to help others trying to get into this industry, um, as well as work specifically a lot with West Coast artists, and as well as um, some other stuff I probably can't say on the internet right now. But that's my brother, though. That's my partner. That's like my best friend and my family member. So y'all make sure you follow and subscribe. Now, before I shouted out my brother, I was telling y'all the government gets out our taxes, y'all. Federal and state taxes off of our paycheck and salary. They also get taxes from sales tax that we pay in restaurants and stores. Um, so they have increased the debt ceiling $3 trillion, enough to pay the payroll for the government, but not enough to include a stimulus check in the Build Back Better Act or the infrastructure bill. Thus far, that has been reported to the general public. So, long story short, all those rumored amounts of stimulus checks, the $1,400 stimulus check, what that is a repeat. That's what Joe Biden said at the beginning of last year, that if they are not able to pass a stimulus check for 2021, excuse me, that he would reissue another $1,400 payment. So the Golden Gate stimulus, 500 and 600 equals 1,100. Okay, that's not three different stimulus checks. That's two different checks from one source. You can either get 500, 5 and 6, or 5 and 600, which would be 1,100. And the $2,000 stimulus check is on change.org. Y'all can sign that petition so we can serve those papers to a state attorney general and fight for our right to have some of our taxes paid back to us to support us in either getting a home or paying a few months rent in advance so we can peacefully look for a job, full-time work. Maybe some of us need 1 or 2 or 3 jobs. Maybe it's 1 or 2 or 3 adults in our household, so we need 1 or 2 or 3 jobs. It's a lot of stuff going on that the government should be held accountable for. And I want y'all to vote if you are able to vote and sign that stimulus check petition if you are able to sign it. Again, not a whole bunch of stimulus check options. I told you they was talking about healthcare and cleaning up pollution. Y'all, that's city funding. That is city funding. Those are city jobs that they're giving the money to. The other group, they were thinking about giving SSI also a stimulus check, which they bullshitted on for this whole year. They were thinking of extending eviction protection and the child tax credits. I believe nobody was supposed to get a child tax credit check for the month of January. However, if everything passed, you will get 2 checks in the month of February, so long as you still qualify during the month of January. As well as unemployment. How many of you guys was on pandemic unemployment assistance? I know we had over 10 million Americans. So that is at least probably half of the working professionals that you know lost their job and had to file unemployment. Okay. Courthouses, schools, so public libraries, so many places was shut down. Restaurants shut down that could not do any business. Over 10 million Americans unemployed. If our government wants us to get off of unemployment, we have to be able to afford gas to put in the car, to drive to the job, to apply, put in the application, and then keep the phone on and the lights on in the house long enough for the job to call us back for an interview. And hopefully we get hired. Then we still need 2 more weeks before we receive our first check. And that's if they don't require you to be vaccinated. Because our government's main goal is for us to be vaccinated and employed. Um, Somebody told me you might as well run for president. Y'all got jokes. I'm not here to say what's right and what's wrong. I'm just here to say what's wrong. Okay? Not what's right. The right thing to do is to help each other not struggle every day in life so we can all accomplish goals. My brother asked if I'm vaccinated yet. I am not vaccinated. My body I'm a heavy smoker and I drink a lot of soda. Other than that, my intake is sugar and regular vitamins and nutritious nutrients like everyone else. Protein, vitamins, fiber. Um, I dieted in 2018 and cleansed my body for almost a year. In 2017, excuse me. So my body has only those few ingredients in it now: smoke and caffeine, soda, sugar. So my body can easily detect when a foreign virus, a foreign object, a foreign anything enters my body and is not supposed to be there. My body can detect it right away and will start fighting it. I'll start feeling bad right away. Even if you tell me something and I know for a fact it's wrong, I will start getting a migraine headache because, bitch, in my mind, not me, my heart, but my mind and my organs ran into a malfunction because now you're retarded because you just told me that green and yellow makes purple, and no, red and blue makes purple. Green and yellow makes highlighter colors, neon green. Why don't you know your math? Now I'm getting a migraine because now my body wants to start working backwards and incorrectly so they could match up to your incorrectness. So that's how sensitive my body is. I did get sick once over the quarantine, but it was only a sinus cold. In December of 2021, that's last month, I was tested for COVID. And the results came back negative. So like I said, anytime some type of outbreak or anything is going on, what I do is I just increase my vitamin C intake and I sanitize frequently. Every time I touch something, I sanitize or wash my hands every time. So nothing ever touches my hands or my face or my mouth or the inside of my body that somebody else touched. And if it does, it's very rare, very few and far between. And my vitamin C will kill it. So I don't believe in putting man made chemicals in my body. I already smoke cigarettes and I don't like it. I smoke weed. To me, God made that plant. It's natural. It's there for a reason. It has natural, uh, what is it, remedies and cures already inside it that it can be used for with just water and sunshine. And you don't got to do nothing to it. So, a lot of things going on, y'all. A lot of things. I did not get vaccinated. Our government wants us to be vaccinated and unemployed. They've increased the debt ceiling $3 trillion and still haven't updated us um, on any amount of how much could this stimulus check possibly be, and when could we possibly get it? I'm looking really quickly too at what they have for us today, and I just simply do not like it, honey. I'm mad I typed in stimulus and I'm right there. But I told y'all I would be. I definitely told y'all. If you don't know that my podcast is called The Cherry Franklin Show, all you got to do is type in stimulus and then go to the filter and click live every morning between 6 and 8 a.m. And you can see if I'm on there or not. Ooh. Y'all, they released stimulus check money to prisoners that are locked up. They're either getting paper checks or direct deposits. Hold on, y'all. Y'all want to do another Ryan Yates? I feel like we're gonna do a Ryan Yates because everything else is like over 20 minutes. Filibuster. I'm not watching 20 minutes of that though. When you could just tell me this person in the White House said this, don't want to do this, or do want to do this, or don't want to do that. Come on, y'all. Let's see what they got to say, huh? Look, DJ King Assassin said no more cigarettes. And he also said, now I need lumpias.
Today's stimulus package update and daily news update. At least 13 people passing away in the Philadelphia row house fire. Terrible news, guys. Economic questions looming over 2022. A new $68 billion
y'all ready to smoke?
Being worked out in Congress.
Hold on, y'all. Let's do a timestamp real quick. Welcome everybody to the show, y'all. We are well over 100 viewers already for the stream. We've been live about 25 minutes. Y'all, it is 6:43 a.m. here on the West Coast, Northern California, Stockton, California to be exact, baby. 2 hours and 23 minutes past 4:20. If you have not rolled a blunt, made a drink, a sandwich, a cup of coffee, or fired up the square, now's the time to do so. We're about to kick off another 30-minute smoke session. We are live with Facebook and YouTube for the first time on the Cherry Franklin Show 2022 page. Y'all, this is big. This is a big, huge deal. This is great news. I'll make sure I update our playlist on YouTube for you guys to check out later on next week. So, we're about to smoke, y'all. Welcome to the Cherry Franklin Show. Make sure you leave in the comments, what is you smoking? What flavors are popular in your area? What is brand spanking new? And what is the best of the best of the best, sir? With honors and what not to get and waste our money on. Make sure you put us up on that weed game in the comment section. Today, we are smoking Animal Mints BXT. This is very light green with orange hairs in it, with white crystallization, THC crystals all over the bud, making it almost a whitish glow, as well as underneath the white crystallization at the tips of some of the leaves is a dark purple specks. So y'all, this is called Animal Mints BXT. This is a really, really, really strong, fresh bud too that I'm smoking. So y'all go ahead and check that strand out when you get a chance. Again, for our stimulus update today, we are listening to Ron Yates on YouTube. Y'all can watch, follow
New Year,
along,
I
or
thought we would give you guys
subscribe.
some advice on how to up our
All of
financial
that, all
game
of
in
that, all of that.
2022. And not just any advice. We're going to hear from a millionaire who retired at the age of 35 by saving 70% of his income, or about $140,000 to $160,000 a year. Let's see what this financial freedom expert has to say for the year ahead. Definitely time to get excited, guys. Only the best money news for our YouTube fam right here on the Ron Yates channel. We are always
Do some stocks investing, mostly just to make a few dollars, between $10 and $20 within a
serious Philadelphia row
few days or a week's time.
Children. Two others, including one child, were critically injured and have been transported to hospitals. Now, according to Deputy Fire Commissioner Craig Murphy, quote, "It was terrible. I've been around for 35 years now, and this is probably one of the worst fires I've ever been to," end quote. Here's the news clip.
The horror unfolding in Philadelphia today, a devastating fire killing 13 people, including 7 children. Tonight, here are the images coming in, the fire breaking out in the second floor apartment of a 3-story row house. As many as 26 people inside, and tonight authorities say this is the deadliest single fire in Philadelphia in at least a century. Firefighters rushing to the scene, knocking out the windows, quickly knocking down the flames today. Neighbors gathering outside in the bitter cold, waiting for word. Several family members then mourning the loss of loved ones. And the firefighters overwhelmed by the
Really
so
quick.
many children among those lost. The firefighters embracing on the scene too.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Tragic fire. Row house fire horror is what they're calling it on the news. Tragedy. Also, I want y'all to know last month in the state of Kentucky, they had an outrageous tornado that destroyed almost 18 blocks or more than 18 blocks worth of property and businesses and neighborhoods and homes in the state of Kentucky. It's a lot going on out there tragedy-wise, y'all. Not only are we having to deal with COVID, not only are we having to deal with vaccinations and unemployment and mask mandates and social distancing. Not only that, but we're also having natural disasters, extreme cold, okay, rain, and things like that. It's a lot. It's a lot of stuff going on right now where y'all could every single one of us could reach out and empower somebody or encourage somebody to keep up the good work, to keep up the great work, keep grinding, keep shining, keep winning, keep trying, keep getting it, keep at it until you got it. So y'all, please do, if you are able, help somebody in need, especially if you're in these areas where these disasters have taken place.
Tonight, the investigation already underway, and ABC's Trevor Ault leading us off now from Philadelphia.
Tonight in this Philadelphia neighborhood, families and firefighters searching for answers.
It's a sad, sad day for both the Philadelphia Fire Department and citizens of the city of Philadelphia.
The horrifying scene unfolding just after 6:30 this morning. Firefighters knocking down the flames in less than an hour, but it was already too late. At least 12 people killed, 8 of them children. David Brown says several of those victims were his cousins.
You know, it was babies, man, young children. You know what I'm saying? Didn't even get the experience of life.
The 2-unit row home is owned by the Philadelphia Housing Authority. Fire officials say as many as 26 people were inside, 18 in the upper unit, and none of the building's smoke detectors were working.
Keep all these folks, and especially these children, in your prayers. Losing so many kids is just devastating.
And David, investigators are now working to figure out the cause here. One avenue they're exploring is whether this was potentially sparked by a Christmas tree fire. And there's many questions about those smoke detectors. The housing authority says during an inspection back in May, they were working.
David, just a horrific scene in Philadelphia today. Trevor Ault leading us off. Trevor, thank
you. You know,
Mayor
people
Jim
be
Kinney
taking
said
the
during the press
batteries out of the
conference,
smoke
"This is
detectors
without a
so they
doubt one
can
of the
smoke
most
in the
tragic
house."
days in our city's history. history. Losing so many kids is just devastating, end quote. According to this, roughly 26 people lived in the building, which was divided into 2 duplex
That's
units.
terrible,
8
honey.
people lived in a unit between the first and second floor.
They have
and
3
18 people
apartment
lived in a unit
windows
between the
burnt
second and the
completely
third
black.
floor, which Murphy said was a tremendous amount of people to be living in a duplex. Now let's just take a moment here and pray for those who are affected by this Philadelphia row house fire. Terrible, sad news. Some more serious news. This time on a much bigger scale. 5 questions facing the economy in 2022. A lot of our YouTube fam are definitely concerned about how this year is going to play out. So I thought we would do some digging to find out. Here's what we found. First, on top of everybody's minds is the Omicron variant. How is that going to affect the economy going forward? Well, the economic impact of the Omicron variant will definitely depend on whether it's actually going to cause less severe disease than previous variants, including the Delta, which pretty much slowed job growth and boosted pressure on supply chains.
Y'all,
this
also,
summer. One economist who
I
looked
just
into this
found
said,
out
quote,
recently,
the growth hit will likely be
COVID, COVID-19. Those are all different strands. That's an acronym of all the different strands of coronavirus flu. Omicron is the O in COVID. Delta is the D in COVID. There's also a third strand that's here. Yeah, it's not. These are not new strands. They are new cases of these strands. Y'all let me know also how you feel about the vaccine.
In the summer of this year when Delta hit. But we can't rule out the idea that hospitals in some states will be overwhelmed because Omicron spreads so quickly that even a low rate of hospitalizations will generate a large absolute number of admissions in a short period. In these circumstances, the widely held view in markets that successive pandemic-related waves have a smaller impact on the economy could easily be upended, end quote. Next question, how high is inflation going to rise this 2022? The quick recovery of employment, GDP, the stock market, and consumer spending all definitely put pressure on manufacturers, suppliers, shipping companies, and other key industries derailed by the pandemic. Economists expect the annual inflation rate to continue rising for at least several more months, but the emergence of Omicron has thrown a wrench into those projections. One expert said, quote, if it does become a pretty virulent and nasty episode, I would see pressures moving in both directions. Supply pressures pushing price inflation up and weakening demand pulling inflation down. Could be a wash, end quote. Definitely something to keep an eye on for our next updates. Some good news though, we may see the Fed balance it all out this year with rate hikes. According to one expert, quote, there's some concern that the Fed could tighten into a slowdown and stop the jobs recovery. My prediction is that will not happen and that the Fed is actually going to get this exactly right. What we'll have is inflation moderating and job growth continuing. So that's sort of the sweet spot that they're aiming for. And I think that they're going to hit it right on the mark, end quote. Closely connected to that is our latest question about the economy in 2022. Can Democrats strike a deal on Build Back Better? Economists at Goldman Sachs predict, quote, while we still think there is some chance that Congress extends the expanded child tax credit retroactively in some form, the odds of this happening seem to be less than even at this point, end quote. While we're waiting on that one, there is this one new stimulus package that they're working on that other channels haven't really been picking up on. As it says here, lawmakers are discussing the possibility of another round of stimulus measures worth $68 billion to safeguard the economy as the Omicron variant of COVID ravages the U.S. Democratic Senator Ben Cardin and Republican Senator Roger Wicker have been talking about since mid-December. So far, what we know is that the stimulus is aimed at businesses that may be hit hard by an ongoing pandemic, including restaurants, performance venues, gyms, and even minor league sports teams. They're still finalizing the proposal, but there's definitely hope here as they're really working with lawmakers from both parties to secure a deal. Cardin said, quote, leadership is encouraging us, end quote. Now don't sleep on this one, guys. If it's anything like the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program, we could easily get a forgivable loan here, aka free money. That's if you happen to have a side hustle, online business, a physical business, maybe driving for Uber or DoorDash, maybe even selling sweet potato pies in your neighborhood. Are you a 1099 employee? You might qualify. I'll keep you guys posted on the details once they come out. It's definitely going to be a make it or break it kind of year for a lot of us. I'm just being real. That's why I thought it would be good for us to hear from some expert advice from people who've made it for themselves. First in line is this one millionaire who saved 70% of his income and retired at, guess what? 35 years old.
That is
Like, who the freak
whack.
does that, right? Well, according to this, they saved $140,000 to $160,000 a year by living by these 6 principles. So number 1, make financial freedom your number 1 goal. Now, with that goal in mind, you can set all of your actions towards it. According to the
Exactly.
article, with financial freedom as his goal, he made
That
dramatic
part.
changes to his financial habits. Instead of letting money sit idle, he invested more of it. He also started saving 70% of his income. It was hard at first, but it got easier as he kept reminding himself that everything he had been spending on were things he either didn't use or didn't need. Now, I know money's tight for a lot of us here on our channel, but it's definitely worth taking a look at how we can focus our actions toward reaching some of our own personal goals, maybe our personal visions of financial freedom. Am I right, guys? It also helps if you, number 2, actively boost your income. Start a website. You can start a website for free, guys. Bake some pies, do some odd jobs, start an online business, start an online side hustle. There are so many ways that you can add to your income and actually make the financial freedom goal that much closer for you. Now, we have a lot of videos talking to you guys about the best online businesses to start this 2022. Not to mention how to do an Amazon dropshipping business. You don't even have to have inventory on hand. Definitely check those videos out here on our channel. And if you guys want to know more about any of it, just drop me a comment down below and I'll do my best to get back with you guys as soon as possible. Maybe even make a new video based on whatever your request is in the comments. So let me ask you a question. What do you guys do with the extra income that you get? Well, you invest in appreciating assets, of course. Now we're talking about the stock market.
Ooh. All right, y'all. That's Ryan Yates. If y'all would like to hear more about also his financial and stock market advice and things like that, y'all check him out on YouTube. Again, his name is Ron Yates. All right, y'all. Really quick before we get off the news, Taco Bell got chicken wings. Does Subway have chicken wings? No, y'all don't know? Everybody Googling it now. Everybody got off the podcast to go Google. Does Taco Bell